What do you?
Luis, you gotta climb all the way over with that stuff there. I put that there specifically so it'd be harder for you to climb over.
I'm not ready. Okay. Ready to go. Engage. I have my headphones on.
No, you don't. You're a liar. You don't have your headphones on.
I have my headphones on now. I can hear myself. Are we ready? We're rolling.
It's up to you.
And action.
Welcome back to We Stayed Late.
The podcast
About
I'm Luis Gonzalez.
I'm Spenser Starke.
I'm Starline.
And we got a little guest with us today.
Who is it?
Ooh, it's
Danny Connor.
Danny Connor.
Oh boy.
Oh, look at those peaks. We're already peaking, and it's only like we're only like 2 minutes. No, not even 2 minutes in. Let me
Look,
see.
if I'm gonna
that
go
kind of show.
If I'm gonna go big, I'm gonna go big.
I better turn this down just a little bit.
Where did you guys get all this energy from? I'm sitting here just
We're 1 minute in.
This day has been very long, and
Okay.
it's been a long day,
It
and I
has
just
been.
want to nap, and you guys are just like, yeah. I was like, all right.
I don't know, when the lights turn on and this starts recording, I snap in.
And when Luis always climbs over the desk, I always snap in.
I know.
That's that moment.
That's
when
when
I
you
see you climbing and I go, that could be me. One day.
What?
That could be me.
One day. So Danny was just showing me this badass thing.
Danny, what were you showing? Because I wasn't here. What were you showing him?
Well, I know you've seen this because I slacked you a gif of this earlier. In my
Oh,
excitement,
yes.
which was the dual booster landing from the Falcon Heavy rocket launch today.
Amazing.
That it's insane. I didn't even know it was happening
Yeah.
today at all. And he showed me this picture, and basically for people who don't know, they sent out this what was it? You explain it better.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know anything.
and Spencer would probably know better than me because he's even smarter. But they,
Not true at all.
so Elon Musk. This is a beautiful merging of everything that Elon Musk has ever done. He was testing a new SpaceX rocket. This was the Falcon Heavy. They've had Falcon rockets before that were smaller. And this one is made for like larger cargo, like a semi-truck of rockets.
Right.
Was how I
Previous
read
one
it.
scared a shit ton of people because it launched at like sunset and it like left
Yeah,
that weird
everyone
thing in the space in the sky.
Yes.
Yes.
Was this the one when you were
When I
with
was
your
at
mom?
Disneyland, I was with my mom and I was like, "What is that?" And we were like, "Aliens."
Crazy.
And they're like, we're gonna let people know this time.
Yeah.
So it's a heavy load that they sent up today.
Yeah, so they launched it out of one of the space stations
Uh-huh.
that exist. I was gonna say it, and then I don't know which one it is.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like a big rocket
Uh-huh.
ship with the two things. It looks a lot like the ones that NASA used to do, just not as
Like
colorful.
the orange ones. It's-
Yeah,
the orange
just like
ones.
pure white.
And usually when it goes up, they just kind of go up to the sky and
And then
they
they
just
just-
fall.
yeah.
And they're wasted into the ocean.
Yeah, so that's been a huge thing that they've been doing. Like one of the things that Elon Musk has been trying and pushing for super hard with SpaceX is that he wants it to be economically feasible,
Yeah.
like space travel in general, and like his whole thing is like if a 747 flies across the country and then you have to throw away the airplane, like you're never going to be able to pay for this.
Really dumb.
So he's like, we need to be able to use the rockets
Yeah.
again. And it took them forever. Oh my God. I don't know if this was on April Fool's or when it was, but they released one of the funniest videos ever. It was a montage of every time their test had failed. Like
Yes.
they've been
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
have
I
the
think that
rockets
was like
land.
April Fool's or something like that. I remember that. I remember what it was for. But
It
yeah,
was
it was
so
funny.
But it was like 3 minutes of just every rocket crashing into the ground with like hilarious commentary at the
Yeah.
bottom. And then finally they figured out how to land it. So this one, right. So he sends this payload was, of course, a Tesla Roadster.
Right.
With a space, they call it, what was it? Spaceman was the guy's name?
Oh, the person.
The,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dummy.
Yeah.
I thought it was a real person at first. And so he showed me video of it, and it looks like it's a guy in a spacesuit, like
Yeah.
a Daft Punky spacesuit.
Yeah.
And I was like, where's that going? And then he said, oh, it's going to orbit around Mars. And I was like, okay, well, how long? It's like, oh, for like a super long
Yeah,
time.
like a billion years.
Yeah, and then it's just going to float away. I'm like, well, what about the guy?
So I think what
He's got like there'll be a 7-Eleven somewhere.
Yeah.
He'll get snacks.
I think the plan is probably for him to put that car into orbit, and then for him to be able to go there and get the car out of orbit.
Right.
Like just land on Mars and be like, oh yeah, remember that thing? We're gonna yank it in with our
They're gonna-
boring company tractor beam.
They're going to send Matthew McConaughey out there. He's
Yeah,
like,
to grab it.
I drive a Tesla.
That was not bad.
Yeah.
No, yeah, right.
If
He'll
that-
get on Mars
if
eventually.
That thing ends
Yeah.
up being like the only remnants of human history. Like if something happened to the thing we launched into space,
Uh-huh.
what was it? The thing with
The
the
Voyager.
voices of if that somehow gets destroyed by whatever, and then like this car just gets out of orbit and floats away, and that's the only thing left about humanity.
They're gonna
that's
think
gonna
that
be pretty
that is
wild.
a sentient, like that is the alien.
I'm okay
is
with
the
that.
car.
That's a pretty good achievement for humanity.
I mean,
the car?
Voyager is a little bit better, I would say, but it's still
It does say somewhere on there. It says like made on Earth by humans or something to that
With our
effect.
Oh, that's so
coordinates?
good.
No,
Oh,
that doesn't
man.
mean
Probably
anything
just, like,
to
with a
aliens.
headshot of
It's
Elon
made
Musk.
on Earth by
Yo,
humans.
you think they're gonna be able to read English?
Yeah.
like no, but like put math, like some type of math equation that like.
It could be like an arrival
you where it
situation.
is.
Because
Yeah,
math
that's
is the
true.
universal language.
Yeah, but they don't.
But what if it's not? What if like they come and they're like, oh yeah, everything you thought about math is wrong?
What if feelings
Oh,
are the
God.
emotional?
Because we don't understand like how quantum physics and regular physics are
yeah.
like
Isn't
come
that
together.
still math though?
Yeah, but we don't
On, like,
understand
some
how they.
level?
Yeah,
Like we're just sending out like essentially like elementary school level math,
yeah.
but it's still like math. Like
Yeah.
surely they would be
2
able to
plus
figure
2 is
that
still
out.
4, I think. Hopefully,
Maybe
in math, in alien math. You guys ever studied alien math?
No, not yet. I was going to.
So I saw a thing today. Let me pull it up. Hold on. I saw a thing today that there's a spin-off show happening for a show I don't watch called Grey's Anatomy. Have you ever watched Grey's Anatomy?
No.
Okay. So there's a spin-off show for Grey's Anatomy.
I just learned that it was still. Is it still going?
I think so.
Jesus.
Yeah, I heard that too, and I like because my mom still watches it, and I
Yeah.
was like, "What do you mean still watches it? Like reruns?"
It's like ER. It's just like on.
Yeah.
So there's a spin-off show. I can't find it. There's a spin-off show. I think it's called Station 19, and it's about a bunch of firefighters. My question is, at what point does a spin-off not become a spin-off anymore and just becomes
Its own show?
its own show? It is not set in a hospital. It's set in a fire.
Is
Well,
it-
it's probably based on like a character who was frequently in Grey's
Right, but if
Anatomy
you
as a
just take
firefighter.
one character and you just like put him in a new show, and you're like, okay, this is a spin-off of that show, but it has nothing to
If
do
it's-
with
Yeah, I
it.
Isn't
guess
that-
that's all it
if it's
takes
based
is
in
one
the same
character.
Yeah.
if it's based in the same universe, it's a spin-off show.
So I guess that's but a lot of those shows just take place in our universe, you know?
Yeah.
Like any
yeah,
show
but
that
like
just takes
you
place
know
in
that the characters from Grey's Anatomy can show up in that
That's true.
world.
Yeah,
and it's
interesting.
Fine. Then
it-
But are there
That's a
spin-off?
spin-off.
Do you guys know of
Yeah.
any spin-off shows that are better than the shows that they
Oh,
originally
better?
came from?
Okay, it got canceled, so obviously the world didn't think it was better, but I thought it was better. Bones had a spin-off.
Oh.
It was based in
it did?
yeah, it had a spin-off. It was these detectives in the Keys. They lived in the Keys, and the characters from Bones would occasionally show up from it to kind of like
What
make
was the
sure
show called?
I forget, but it was real. I liked it. It was about like a guy who was who was really smart, but he had like a PTSD situation
Uh-huh.
where the stakes were. It's like whatever it is that affected his brain is that once he has a problem, he has to solve it, and if he does not solve the thing,
He'll die.
like essentially he kind of goes nuts.
Oh, okay.
So he has to solve the thing. So if he gets on everyone's concerned when he takes on cases because he can't solve the case.
Then he's gonna go into a
Yeah,
manic
he'll just
state or
kind of
something.
he'll go like it's just be bad. And so he rarely does it, but he does. Obviously, he takes on these cases. And so it was him. It was the guy who from the Green Mile, who I think he passed away.
Oh, yeah.
He was on it, and like some girl who was kind of like this runaway. Oh, my mic went away.
Hold on.
Did we lose it?
Yeah, hold on. Let me listen to what the last thing was. Oh, that's
weird. Da, da,
It
da.
dropped the whole thing.
They did delete it?
No,
it's
fine. It just dropped the whole audio thing.
Good thing
never
we're
happened
listening
before.
to it.
Yeah.
Let me just save
I was on a podcast that didn't have headphones recently, and I was just like, ooh,
Asking
we were
for it.
taking a chance. I mean, it was fine,
Yeah.
but I was like, ooh.
second time it's ever happened.
You guys should do one where you all wear speech jammers. We just delay the playback.
Oh,
by
God.
We
Okay,
kinda did that.
that kind of happened one time when I was with, I think it was with Brett.
Okay, I did hear that one. I heard the Brett one.
Yeah,
I
you
remember-
screamed and you
Yeah.
fucked it up.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, that's what happened. I know we don't
You
have
guys
like the
were singing on
perfect
stage.
like video setup, but if you ever like talk to the audience,
Oh,
you
hey,
can just,
look,
like,
the
open it.
YouTube's gonna get an extra bonus part. Look
Yeah.
at that. Oh, YouTube.
Let me see
You
if
think-
like even the audio itself works.
Uh-oh.
No.
It doesn't?
Like the audio coming out of my computer isn't even
You have to
working.
restart?
Yeah, let me restart.
What is it?
Restart.
Restart.
I'm gonna find
So,
out.
YouTube, what conversation should we
that
have
doesn't have.
with
Oh, I
you?
guess it has a Rode mic on it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a mic on it too.
Yeah, so.
This is exclusive.
exclusive to the YouTube.
Behind the scenes.
So
I'll
let's-
try to keep a pause on my Bones spin
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
look up what the name of it
Bones
was.
spin-off.
The
The
Finder.
Finder.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was the shit. I love that show. I watched every single episode, and then it got canceled. I was like, but I expected it. Like, it was like, I see why this isn't hitting, but
Yeah.
I enjoyed the way he like solved
Michael
cases.
Clark Duncan, yeah.
I liked how he solved his cases. I thought it was different, and I liked his. I guess his gimmick was, I thought, something different. Like the idea that's like, if he doesn't solve the case, he's gonna lose his mind. I'm like,
Yeah.
It was different.
It's kind of cool.
Jeff Stoltz.
Like it. Let me.
That's the guy. Jeffrey.
I'm waiting till we're back on recording.
I know,
I
right?
want to
I know,
say
I don't
what
wanna
it is.
I might have cut you off, so I might have to like
You should do.
go back
Just
and
like-
like.
Sorry, guys, we got cut off for a couple minutes there. Anyway, so continue the story, Luis. You're in the window. You're half naked.
Amazing.
Did you get that?
We got that on.
Oh yeah, we got it here.
YouTube's getting that.
That's true. They're getting everything. That's pretty good.
No, it's restarting right now. Hoping it'll work. Come on, little guy.
I don't want to say anything because I
No.
want to wait for the podcast to start.
Hold.
Hold your thoughts.
Hold.
I hear
Okay,
my
hold on, let
voice
me listen.
again.
Ah!
I'm rehearing what we just heard. He was on it. Oh, you can hear this too.
Yeah. Oh, my voice is awful. How do you guys put up with
Okay,
that shit?
so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start it there, and then we're gonna jump in and say, how's this? Okay, how's this go?
Wait, what is?
Hold on. So what we'll do is we'll just go.
I'll just continue.
Yeah, just say the name of the show.
Okay.
Just go into the
Like
name.
mid
Oh, and the name of the show
Yeah,
was yeah, and I can always cut it together.
Okay. Oh, the show's name, The Finder. The
Yeah,
Finder. That's the show.
Okay, so we just had the audio cut out on us for like 20 minutes, and Star just did that off the cuff. Just we listened to the audio, and then Star just did it.
You reveal the secrets.
We don't hide anything here. In fact, if you want to know what happened in between,
Yeah,
go on YouTube.
because the camera didn't stop.
No, it didn't stop, and I'm not going to edit that out.
No.
That's too much work. The editor is not
We'd
going
have
to
to
do
find
that.
the two positions we were in.
Yeah.
And then, like, come back and...
No, yeah.
Morph. Yeah, no, that wasn't do a morph cut.
So yeah, we found it during the break. It's called The Finder.
It was, I mean, mind you, it was a really cheesy series. It was a Sherlock wannabe show.
Right,
because,
sure.
Like, it was very, like,
13
look at his unique
episodes.
ways of figuring things out. The nurse or the other, the love interest from House, that doctor lady,
Oh yeah.
I think she was in it as, like, his either cop, psychologist person or whatever. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was pretty well-rounded cast. I thought it was interesting. The location was different because it was, like, the Keys.
Yeah.
And, like, he had to keep driving up to Miami. And I'm like, man, you really make that drive. Like, in the show, obviously, they, like, do quick cuts. And he's like, he's in
Yeah.
Miami now. And I'm like, man, you really make that drive all the time, huh? Like, it's like...
That's when people do shows about LA and they show like
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're driving. All right, I'm gonna go to my friend's house, and then you have B-roll of like the Hollywood sign, and then like the Venice Beach.
Yeah.
And you're like,
then like
no,
Griffith
man.
Park. I'm like,
that took
not-
you 6 hours to do that
Like
shit.
that
Just
scene
to
in La La
circle
Land,
around.
yeah.
Yeah,
Where they do the whole dancing around LA thing. And
Yeah,
you're like,
and you're
this
like,
is literally impossible. In LA.
Yeah.
You couldn't physically get to all these. And the
Yeah.
one they're dancing around where you're like, oh, that's cute. And you know, you'll see some of them and like
Yeah.
people like my girlfriend that aren't familiar with LA, they're like, we should go to all these places. And I'm like, well, let's not, because some of those are like in Watts, and I'd rather not go there.
It'd be cool to do, like, a cut of that, of showing, like, doing the part of the song where they're there, and then cut and show the drive, and just...
Yeah.
So one of my favorite YouTube
And then
sketch
get back
channels.
to the next part.
Perfect. Yeah.
There's one of my favorite YouTube sketch channels, Chris and Jack.
I think you showed us some.
I might have shown you some because I'm obsessed with these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did watch a bunch of them. The White Room where the guy
Yes.
dies. But they did this one called like In Between the Montage.
Uh-huh.
So it starts with like this 10-second montage of them like, you know, it's like when they're like first things first, we're gonna track him when he comes out of the building, and it's like taking shots of him, and they're like,
Yeah.
we flag his car, and it's like the whole day, and then it like rewinds, and it's just like them in the car driving. But the whole gimmick was that one of them is not telling the other guy what's happening. So like the montage is cut together, but he literally delivered those lines that way. So he'd be like, he's like, first thing we're gonna do. He's like, all right, let's get in my car. And he's like, first thing we're gonna do is what? And he's like, I'll tell you.
I'll
But they just
continue it,
and they're
yeah.
like just driving for like 20 minutes. And he's like, are you like, where are we going? And he's like, it's gonna be great. And then they finally get there like after like 5 minutes of driving. And he's like, comes out of this building, like picks up right where he would be. It's really funny.
That's
Those guys are
amazing. Wait,
good.
is that
I re-
show?
What's that?
Is that a show? Is that
It's
like a
they
YouTube
just
show?
upload a YouTube video like every week. They do a different
Oh,
sketch. They're
interesting.
brilliant. Like every video they do is so funny.
So I found a list of spin-off shows
Oh,
that I
yeah,
didn't
go
know were
ahead.
spin-off shows.
Before
Yeah.
I want to lay down one
Okay.
because I want to
Yeah,
prove
yeah.
my spin-off
Knowledge?
Knowledge. Frasier is
Yeah,
a
is
spin-off.
a spin-off
Yeah,
show.
okay.
yeah,
Cheers.
Frasier's
I
There
have
you go.
heard that.
I have not watched Frasier. I keep being
Neither
told
have
I
I.
should go back and see
It's
it.
good. I like it.
The one that was the most surprising for me on this list, yeah, Frasier's on this list. The Jeffersons, Mork and Mindy.
Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons, really?
Yeah,
they were a
Jeffersons.
spinoff of All in the Family.
Laverne and Shirley was a spin-off.
What were they a spin-off? Laverne and
Laverne and Shirley. Let me look. Laverne and Shirley were spin-offs of Happy Days.
Oh yeah.
And then does that count? Like, would they count the ones that started on another show? Like, did
I mean,
The Simpsons
SourceFed Nerd
start?
was a
Yeah,
spinoff.
so that's the one that was the most surprising to me was The Simpsons because it was on
The Tracy Ullman Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the one
Oh.
that makes sense but that I didn't even think of is the Colbert Report.
Right.
Yeah.
That
that's
is
true.
that
Yeah.
is that is a
100%.
great spinoff.
That is a great spin-off.
That is a great.
There you go.
I might even be I might almost like that better than Daily Show.
Daily Show.
think
yeah.
I don't
do
know.
too.
Sometimes I did. Sometimes I
To
didn't.
me,
That's
they
how it
were
was,
such
yeah.
It
Yeah.
was such a set. Like I had like watching one without the other felt weird.
yeah. It sort of was like a great partnership
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
opposed to like one competing against the
There's
next.
definitely times when you're like, oh, I can't wait for Colbert Report.
Right.
But then you're like, ooh, okay, I'm glad that the Daily Show's here to give me just kind of the straight without the act.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
That Colbert does.
Well, because it was fun, because it was because he was. I mean, he plays a character that is himself a parody of the people that he like. He's playing a parody
He's walking
of
satire.
Fox News.
Yeah.
he's walking satire, but he also knows in the show that he's playing that satire.
It's pretty great.
Yeah,
It's
which
pretty-
is why
it's
I
pretty
like
meta.
that because he would like I always felt that the Daily Show was more of a political show, like with some comedy weaved in.
Yeah.
and
Right.
Colbert's was kind of the opposite. It was like a gimmick, like it was a joke, and then it would just happen to be about politics.
Right.
But I like
Yeah.
that because he wasn't like because he was playing someone kind of on the opposite side of the aisle from his personal beliefs. Like he really kind of wasn't very partisan at all as a result. Like he kind of just made a farce of everybody.
Yeah.
Unrelated
Yeah.
to like actual political views. It was
Yeah.
just everything was a joke.
Yeah.
Which I actually kind of enjoyed because it was like a nice break from just like headbutting all the time.
Yeah, from just making fun of the
Yeah.
other side, which he was, but he would also say things and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, like it was. I don't know, it was interesting.
Yeah, it was a really brilliant way to like
Well, I mean,
communicate.
because he's liberal, but he's like a conservative liberal.
yeah,
Like he's very Catholic.
That's true.
Like, very Catholic.
But he also kind of has become like the late night voice of like anti-Trump discourse. Like
Yeah.
he's very much made that his platform.
Of them are.
That's true though.
But he speaks.
Except not Jimmy Kimmel. The other one.
Fallon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fallon's kind of fucked up. 'Cause
Why?
yeah.
Because he keeps his distance.
Well, because he hasn't bounced back from having Trump on his show and messing with his hair. Like as a result of that, like trying to stay middle grounded and like doing what the traditional kind of traditional kind of thing to do when you're a late night host, which is like try to appease everybody.
Yeah.
Especially the Tonight Show.
It just backfired on him because the climate we're in, you can't really take a middle ground.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, oh,
yeah.
It's just
he
it was
hasn't
like
really
an
bounced back from it.
unfortunate like thing to try to be like, we're gonna try to be middle.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I used
Well,
to
right,
watch. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because Colbert's last report I saw was beating everyone else in the ratings. So I mean,
Oh, really?
To your point, it seems like taking that angle has kind of been successful for him.
well, yeah.
And he has like just a great voice and point of reason, Colbert, that he doesn't just criticize for the sake of criticism. Like he has things that kind of back up what he's saying.
He's got good writers.
Yeah.
Talking about TV shows, Sandra asked us if you could be written into any TV show, which one would it be, and what would your character's name, or what would you like your character's arc to be?
Can we go?
Damn, that's
do we go with
packed.
first thought?
Yeah.
First, okay. Without thinking hard about it at all, my
Yep.
first thought was Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
a
fun.
great
Like
one.
I was just like, what show would I want to be on right now? And I'm like, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm like, please put me on that show. I
Yeah.
don't care as what, just whatever it is. I want to like let me be Gina's like weird like half sister or something. Like I want to be around that cast.
Yeah,
like,
that's
they
a
just
great
seem
one.
like a fun time on that set.
I didn't
and,
think
like,
you were gonna say Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I didn't think I was gonna say it either, but it was like what's like that was immediately the first thought on my head. I was just like, I want to hang out with those people,
Who'd be your
as
best
ca-
friend?
like as characters and as like actors. Like they just seem like great people.
Who'd be your best friend?
Okay. Okay, character-wise?
Yeah.
Character-wise, I'd probably the person who, like, would want to, like, be friends with Rosa, but I'd be scared of her.
Okay.
And as a result, I'd probably end up hanging out with Boyle because I wouldn't know how to, like, not be nice, like, mean enough to be like, I don't really want to hang out with you, but, like, you're nice to me.
Yeah.
Like, you're, like, genuinely a nice person. It's just like, well, you're nice to me, and I don't really know anybody, so I guess I'll hang out.
You and Boyle and his son, what's his name? Yapshnip?
Mikonov? Something like that.
Mikolov?
Mikola?
Something
Nicola.
like that.
Nicola.
Yeah, Nicola.
Yeah. Like, it would be like one of those where I'm like, I guess I'm... and then I would eventually, like, figure out a way to, like... I'd probably end up becoming friends with Amy at some point. And then
Yeah.
it'd be like, that's where I would probably settle.
Yeah.
Even though I'd be like, Rosa, she's so cool. She's, like, super cool.
You'd have, like, an episode with
but
her
she's
when you
scared-
two are,
she
like,
would-
stranded on
her
the island or something.
character, like, based on, like, how she is, she's so cool, but it's just like, man, she's, like... Until she, like, brings her puppy or something to work, and then it'd be like, all right, I have an in.
Yeah.
I'm going to go make friends with that puppy.
I don't think I'd like. I think I would like being on that show. I don't think I'd like working in that police station.
Are you kidding? It's, like, the best.
No, it's the worst.
Here's the thing. They're all... What the show is what they make a good point. They all are good at their jobs. Like,
Yeah,
they
but
actually are
they're
genuinely...
They do
reckless.
get things
They're
done.
so reckless,
I know.
though.
But they
They're
solved the case.
But they're
But
incredibly
they're
reckless.
not, though. They're not. Like, one character is actually truly reckless. The rest of them actually just do their jobs. And even the reckless guy, he does his job well. Like, he doesn't try to, like, the only person who he fucks over for the most part is usually just him.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't fuck over
Right.
his friends or
have you
anything
seen?
like that.
Have you seen Angie Tribeca?
No.
I haven't watched it. I watched like one episode
Yeah.
with a friend of mine when I was over at their
Uh-huh.
house, and I was like, "What the fuck is this show?"
I have, yeah.
It is
What is the show?
Andrew
so
Tribe-
crazy. Okay, you want to describe it?
I
'Cause you
don't know if
better
I
than
can.
do.
I
Okay,
mean,
I'll help you.
Yeah,
'cause
I mean,
yeah.
have you seen like Naked Gun or
Oh my God.
Major League or
Yeah,
anything like
I just
that?
watched the whole TV series that the Naked Gun is based on, the Police Files or Police Squad.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a series. It's a show
Speaking
that
of
he did. Was
spin-off.
like it's
Yeah.
a condensed version. It's amazing. Anyways.
Well,
go.
so it's kind of like Steve Carell and his wife made a show that was based and inspired off of those type of movies.
Okay.
And so basically, yeah, I mean, it's just
Yeah, it's a cop show,
yeah, it's a cop show.
but it is highly like surreal
And absurd.
and absurd.
Mhm.
Like the one guy's like I just remember there was a scene where these two cops were having an argument in like an office about a thing, and he's like how do you not see this? And he goes something about like not being able to see it, and then they cut to him still in his office chair, but he has like one of those optometrist things that measure like how well you can see, and he's like, next one. Yeah, that one's right.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts away, and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
It's just
It's
weird.
very-
It's
I kind of
we-
want
it's
to... That's the
absurdist
show you
and
want to
weird.
be in?
No, not at all. No, that reminded me of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Reminded me to talk about Angie Tribeca because I've never watched it. I wondered what people's reactions were to it because it was like so absurdist that it was funny, but it was like so over the top that I almost it was you had to suspend your disbelief entirely. They knew they were making a TV
Yes.
show. That's what it feels like.
And it's also not done. They're not hamming it up.
No.
Things are done with a straight face.
Right.
So like, can you not see this? No, I can't. And then they pull out their eyeball. And
Right.
It's like my eyeball.
Both
prescription's
of my
done.
eyeballs were lost in the war. Like that's what and they have like fake eyeballs on the table.
Right.
And you're just like, what? You've been in every episode, and they'll just put them back in, and then they just continue the whole scene.
Yeah. They
It's
had one.
weird.
I think
It's
they had
so
one
absurd.
episode where
Watch the
like
show.
this.
That
They're
sounds
like
fun.
It actually does.
like a bear comes and attacks everybody and kills somebody, and like, oh no, it was just a person in a suit. And then this whole season, the whole arc of the season is this person's trying to become like a detective or like a sergeant or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was all like a ruse just to like get somebody to buy them cake or something like that. You know, it's like the whole season didn't mean anything. And just like in the end, it was like
pretty
the
great.
threat of like this bear they were catching wasn't real. It was
That's
a person
pretty
in a
great.
suit. Everyone who you think is dead are actually just in on it. You know, it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. You just have to watch it.
Like the one that I was watching that I watched was about like infiltrating basically like the lifeguards were selling drugs.
Uh-huh.
And
Point
so
Break?
he had to become a lifeguard. Like one of them had to become a lifeguard, but then he got like wrapped up in the lifeguard life, and they were like just a bunch of bros, and it was. But then they were also selling drugs, and it was so absurd and weird that I got lost halfway through it, and then it found me again, and I was like, I feel like I'm in an ocean, which is I think is what they were trying to.
I think you should be a part of the show. I think this should be your show, Spencer.
It's the show that I want to be in is Always Sunny. That's what I want to be in.
You did say that, yeah.
I would love to not as if that world is real, because if that world was real and I was in it, it would be a terrifying hellscape of a world.
Right.
But like I would love to be in or write for that show. That
Who would
show
you be
is
if you were in it, like essentially make your fanfic character right now. If you are in there, what would happen?
I think I would be Charlie's reasonable older cousin.
Aw, that's the best.
And I'd like try and take care of him as he's like writing his new masterpiece or whatever.
But
and
then, like, what's wrong with you? Though?
Yeah.
I got a great
But what's wrong with you, though?
I think that I have rickets, and I'm just real sick, and so Charlie's taking care of me, and I'm taking care of him. And
You know you're gonna die.
yeah,
In the series.
yeah, no,
like-
I'm going to die, and so I've moved in with Charlie, and I'm trying to like guide him to be his to write his magnum opus before
Frank
I pass.
isn't gonna be happy about that.
No,
He'll probably kill you.
yeah, because I have
He's
rickets.
probably trying to like enhance it, like to make you die sooner.
Either that or I have like extremely early onset Alzheimer's.
Oh no!
So so I'm just constantly forgetting, but Charlie always forgets too.
Yeah.
And so we're just this mess of like always forgetting things. I don't know. That's real fucked up, but it just is the
That would
first
work
thing that
really
came to
well.
What the
mind.
show is though.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So anyway,
trying to
that's what I
think.
think what I would
What
do.
was the first thing that came to mind, Luis? It's the easiest way to answer these.
Potato.
Potato was the first thing. I want to be on the show Potato.
What show do you want to be on?
Potato. Peaches. I don't know. Danny, what about you? The guest.
I don't know. I don't feel like I have a good answer either. You guys both went for kind of comedies, which I feel like I wouldn't fit on any of the comedies that. Like my first thought was Westworld.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Did you like the new trailer?
I did. Like I liked in that. Like I don't like.
Know
it's just
anything.
kind of teases.
So I didn't
which
watch
like.
it, and I don't want to watch it.
There's nothing. There's no.
It
Not
might as
gonna
well.
watch it.
It might
I
as
don't
well
wanna
have
watch
been
it.
like
The
scenes
song,
from the last episode.
they read. I like. It's on Spotify. You could probably listen to that. It's just
The music, yeah,
the
I'd be fine
music.
with
They
that.
redid a Kanye song
Yeah.
in like the old school piano thing.
Oh, cool.
And it's very
I love it.
dramatic and really.
It almost
cool.
seems like they made a scene that is not going to be.
It's a true
in-
teaser in the sense of like
in the
it's
show.
a character who's clearly not going to say those lines in the show. They are talking to you, the audience,
Oh, cool.
and like you're getting like. Like a lot of actiony and just stunning visuals. Like, look at this landscape. You're looking at Westworld again, and then
Yeah.
you're like, and there's some violence, and then the tease of like, shit's gonna go down.
Over like the last
essentially.
2
Like, that's
years,
what it
I've
is.
made a hard swing from like not caring about if I saw a trailer, not caring. Like I just watch any of the trailers that came out, I didn't care.
Yeah.
Into like really caring if I see a trailer
I've done
and
the
not
exact same
wanting to. I do not want it. I don't want the teaser trailer.
You don't
I don't
want
want any of it.
anything.
I want nothing. And I think it's influenced from you because you were like. I don't want to. I want to know
'Cause you
nothing
want
when
the
I walk into the
purest
theater.
experience.
And then I did that with. I can't remember what movie it was, but I did it with some movie, and I was like, "This was the best experience I've ever had with a
So
movie."
right.
Yeah.
I did that
So-
with the last season of Game of Thrones. I didn't watch anything.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm so happy I did because after the season, I went back and watched the trailer, and I was like, I'm so glad I didn't watch this because there
Yeah.
were so many. Just
Oh, like the
knowing,
previews for the next episode? Yeah.
Because I always feel like, and whenever I go into a movie, at a certain point, like I don't know, 2/3,
Right.
into the movie, I just start remembering the scenes that I haven't seen yet, and I'm like, okay, well, I know then that this is inevitably going to finish in like a volcano or whatever
Yeah.
it is because I saw that in the trailer and it hasn't happened yet, and then it just changes the whole way I'm watching the end of the movie.
In the back of your mind, you have those scenes already ready. Like, okay, there's that one, there's that one, there's that one. You have like a little checklist.
Yeah,
of things that
exactly.
You saw. Yeah.
I generally, at this point, I only watch the teasers now. And
Yeah.
as soon as like official trailer comes out, unless I really don't care, like I'm gonna watch all the Star Wars ones because I'm like I'm a fan, but I'm not like I don't.
I saw the solo
need
one.
the-
Yeah,
I
I'll
don't
watch the
need-
first one
Oh,
for
I
a
didn't
movie
watch the
that
solo
I'm
one.
really
I
hyped
saw
for.
it.
I watch the solo.
I will
'cause
say
it's
that the
just-
solo-
It's literally just flashes of the characters. Like this guy's in it. This guy's in it.
No,
This guy's in
I
it.
wouldn't
this
watch
guy's in
it if I were you. If you really don't want to see it,
I don't want
I
to.
would say don't watch it.
See, for
What-
me,
It
like,
I think it does reveal some
The
stuff.
solo one or the Westworld
The solo
one?
one.
the
Oh,
Westworld
solo
one truly
Does-
doesn't.
I don't
like
think, yeah.
it's just you kind of almost see the same, like the ending scene
from last
from the
season.
last one, like
Yeah,
the
watch it.
continuation
Like,
of like what's going
The
on.
entire Westworld trailer would take place like in the next minute of where the last season ended. So,
But
um,
yeah, just
yeah.
don't watch it.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
but
there's no
yeah.
point.
Solo. Oh man, I
Solo.
had a point. Like Game of Thrones, I'm gonna watch all those things because I don't have like belief in the writers of
Oh,
being
see, I'm
like
staying
amazing.
far away from those.
So I'm kind of
yeah.
like, yeah, spoil me, whatever. It's not the books. The books are the true story, whatever. Like, show me everything.
But what if
But
what
I
if you
haven't
don't?
looked
Those are
up
my true
anything with
story.
Black Panther.
Same.
I haven't looked up anything
Nope.
with Black Panther
Oh,
except.
I've seen all the trailers for Black
no,
Panther.
I refuse. I'm like, no,
I-
I think I saw the
Louis,
teaser
can
and I
you
was
give
just
us a
like,
beat
I'm
by beat
good.
breakdown of every
That's
trailer
great.
real quick? Just walk us through every visual and story
And-
beat.
Okay,
if you
so
can-
what happens is
Yeah, but I did watch like the premiere red carpet stuff. Like I watched like.
Oh yeah, the
And
how
I was
they
like,
had the
oh,
traditional.
okay, so I kind of know who's in it. That's about
Yeah.
it because like I'm gonna know who's in it.
You know what?
But I don't know anything about.
I feel like
the
sometimes that's a
story.
bit more spoilery too.
And
That's
I
kinda
saw
true.
like one
Yeah.
spoilery image because I follow nerd shit about like Captain America.
I didn't watch any of the Black Panther trailers, but I watched the Infinity War trailer. And
I haven't seen that at all. I don't know
I
anything.
watched that.
So
one,
I guess
yeah.
I won't go
I
into
watched
it, but
that
in
one.
some ways I'm just like, well, wait a minute, there's several movies that are happening before this movie, so like anything that I see in the Infinity War trailer
Is
kind
gonna
of
re-
reflects on the other movies that
Yeah.
are coming around it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I only know, like, what was? There's
What?
Solo. Solo.
Solo.
Solo.
So the trailer for Solo, I have one gripe about it.
Why?
I have many, but go ahead.
Well, you're right. Does anyone bother by the Solo title
Like
reveal?
literally the name of the title or the way that it animates?
The graphics, the way that it's animated, I feel like
I
it's
didn't
pretty
pay attention
basic.
too hard to it. 'cause
Yeah, it's not.
It looks like
pretty.
you just like typed it up in After Effects, made the keyframes, and said go, and then it just did the move.
Oh, I
Like,
just
there's
see,
no
I only
texture.
I also think
Yeah,
my
there really
new rule is
wasn't.
I only
I don't
watch
know, it's
trailers
very-
once.
Hmm.
I don't rewatch.
I
them.
rewatched and I was like, I don't know. There's no depth.
Did you guys see the Game of Thrones creators are
Making a
Yes.
Star Wars. And I was
helming
just
a
like,
Star Wars saga?
I'm like, all right. Somebody,
What?
I think,
Yeah, movies.
Wait, but what's his name? The guy who Ryan Johnson.
Yeah,
is
it's
also
separate from
do-
that.
What?
They're doing
It's like
another
another
Yeah.
one. Like
They're
different one.
making two different sagas.
Yeah.
Jesus
Plus
Christ.
the rest of the spin-offs.
Oh my God.
somebody was saying,
We're gonna die.
not somebody, Danny Fernandez twittered saying, like, oh,
Danny.
we're gonna finally see tits on a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Seriously. They should do a couple like rated R ones.
Yeah, they
like, really
should.
gritty.
Do you need it though? I mean, I feel like.
Well, do you need like any of these spin-offs
Yeah.
really?
No, you don't at all.
But it's one of. I will say, Star Wars is one of those franchises that in my head I'm like it. Like it feels like it's for kids.
Yeah.
Adults happen to be really into it, but I feel like at its core, it's still for children.
Yeah.
Which is why I excuse like all the like why none of it makes sense sometimes. 'Cause I'm like, oh, this isn't for me. It's for like the 12-year-old.
I
Wait,
remember.
did you like The Last Jedi?
This is treacherous waters here.
No,
I
it's
didn't
not.
like
It's
it.
not
I didn't
Treacherous
like it.
I had loved it.
See, you're just proving my point. The
You're like,
I
we're like, you know what? There's
what I mean by that is
this
that
is-
We're
you
going
can
into
have
this kind of-
whatever
yeah.
opinion you want to have because clearly all three of us have different
Okay.
opinions about
Yeah.
the movie.
I was
yeah,
gonna
I
say
feel like-
this is Danny going. You know what? Like movies are a thing, and like you know,
It's the most
opinions
political
are there.
answer.
And
this is me, right? This is
there-
at previous conversations about the Last Jedi flashing like Vietnam memories. Yeah, I know. It's weird. Just as a side note, that like the Last Jedi has become like the like. So who'd you vote for in the
Right.
election? And you're kind of just like like there's good and bad things. No, but like
There's
on
a
the
balance between the good and the
Yeah.
bad.
I thought it was okay. Like
Yeah, I think that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
We talked about
no,
that.
you hate it, Spencer.
No, I didn't hate it. I just didn't.
Don't
think
you
it was
know you either have to
great.
love something or hate it? That's how it works now.
You sound like DJ.
Yeah.
That's what he would always say. Like you either have to look, not seriously, like
Yeah, yeah.
jokingly. Yeah, you either have to
He'd
love
add
it
a,
or
he,
to
would
hate
add a
it.
pound to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he had a pound to it. Yeah. Okay, so what did you not like and what did you like?
So like, okay, so I thought the scenes that were really good in the movie were like some of the best from the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Like obviously the scene in the throne room was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
And I personally loved the Yoda scene.
Yes.
And I thought there was some really cool like visual stuff, like with the warp speed crash and things
Yep.
like that. But I also, to me, I had kind of the same thing that happened to me with the last season of Game of Thrones, like specifically with like the ice lake battle, which is that
I haven't seen
he
it.
hasn't seen the last one.
the whole season.
He hasn't seen the
I'm
latest
on season 3 right now.
Oh, you can't spoil it.
Well, okay, just as a location.
There's a battle.
But basically,
There's a
without
battle
going
on
into the
some
details,
ice.
of
Wait,
it,
wait, yeah. So I saw behind the scenes. They're having battle on like a frozen lake. Is that the one you're talking about?
yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
I won't spoil anything about it.
That's fine.
But basically, the idea that like even if the scene ends up being cool, like I didn't really like the way we got here, so it's kind of tainted.
Right.
You know, like I felt like
okay,
that a little bit
Interesting. Yeah.
about. That's kind of how I felt where we're at now, without spoiling anything in Game of Thrones. I'm kind of just like, I'm happy with where we are. I just wish we had taken a different path here.
Yeah.
But that was a little bit about how I felt with The Last Jedi, where I'm kind of
Yeah.
like, I liked a lot of stuff, but I felt like some of the moments were a little tainted.
That's
being like,
exactly how I feel about the latest Game of Thrones. It's because I'm like, oh, I could tell what plot points you got from
Yeah,
George R. R. Martin, where it's like,
They
this is where
definitely
this has
wrote
to
with
be.
the end in mind.
This is where these characters are going to be.
I
These
can't
are
wait
what's
till you
gonna
catch
go.
up so we can. Because
I
I
want
want
to
to
catch up.
Like, I
So
could,
my goal.
like I could see like the pinpoints where it's just like this has to be here, this has
Yeah.
to be here,
Yeah.
this has to be
I
here.
want to
Well, I
rewatch
saw-
it last season
But how
because
to get
I
there,
liked
he
the
was
last
just like,
season.
fuck it,
I
do what you
overall did
want.
too.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
But I actually did see an interview like after like the last image of the season. They're like,
Uh-huh.
we knew we wanted to end the season on this shot, and I'm like, what? But so like clearly they
Yeah.
started with the last scene, and then they kind of had to like force
Get
some
there.
things in to get there.
Right.
Which
is not always a
not always
a
bad, but
thing, yeah.
sometimes you can like see around.
It's like
the
a little
edges
too. Oh, you're right. See around the
Yeah.
edges.
Yeah.
now we have to talk about Potter, so we isolate Luis, and then we have to talk about something else to isolate me, and then we go around.
What can we talk about that'll isolate you?
Usually, like when you guys talk about books.
Books.
There's
Dark
certain books
Matter.
you guys
Have
are-
you read Dark Matter?
See, yeah, that book.
No.
I haven't read Dark Matter, so
Oh,
you guys
man.
talk
You
about
You got to
it.
read Dark.
You got to
Matter.
read Dark Matter.
What is Dark Matter?
It's a book. I'll lend it to you on audiobook. You can
Okay.
listen to it on your way here
Love
because I know you have a
audiobooks.
drive like I have. You'll get through it in like 3 days.
Yeah.
With how
It's
how
like
crazy
I mean
drive
I
it is.
can't even. I don't even.
Yeah,
know.
I don't even think you
I don't
should
even wanna
say
say
anything.
anything,
You
honestly.
shouldn't even know
Have
anything
you
going
guys-
I
into
know
it.
you'll like. Well, no,
Yeah,
you like it.
yeah, you will like it.
Okay. Have you guys read the newest book by the guy that wrote The Martian or listened to?
No,
it?
but I've heard
No.
it's
He has a
bad.
new one out?
Yeah, he has another one. I wanted to get your guys' opinion because I haven't listened to it.
I've heard it's not good, but I haven't
Oh.
read it.
Okay.
I've not that it's not. I just heard it's not as good as. The
yeah,
Martian.
that's what I heard too.
Because if you go in like, oh, I get another Martian, like of
Right.
that quality.
Well, The Martian's going to be hard to top because it's written like blog posts.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
really easy, fast,
It
but
is.
yet fascinating read
But-
because it's like a scientist writing
Yeah.
blog posts.
And it's
funny.
also that same problem that a lot of people face, and that I know I've faced as well, just in the creative stuff that I've done, and that like you spend like he probably spent at least 5 years
Oh yeah.
making that book, just like from conception to like actually getting it published.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah, turn the next one around in 2 years.
Right. That's what they say about
Or a
music.
year.
They say you have your whole
Yep.
life to write your first album
Yes.
and a year to write the
Yeah.
second.
And so that's why you have that sophomore slump.
Yep.
And so I feel that too. Like I'll work on something and I'll work on it a long time and get the first one done and be like, this is something I'm really proud of because I did and then I get to the second one. I'm like, well, that one isn't as good because I didn't work on it for a
Right.
year.
You rushed
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
That's why you work on all the things at all the time.
Yeah.
All of the things. And then you burn out. Then you burn out. You're trying to work on all your ideas at the same time because you don't want that to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
That's
work
what's
on
hard.
everything.
That's
As
what's
I
hard.
like sit here and go, I'm like, I have too many thoughts.
I used to have a bad view of like network shows,
Yeah.
like shows that were on CBS,
Mhm.
ABC, CW, NBC, like all those type of shows. And then I started hearing, other people's point of view about what they liked about it, and then I started seeing that, like, taste and preference made a big influence on those things. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And they were able to excuse maybe like the bad story plot or the bad acting or the bad cinematography or whatever, you know. And then I started to think about, or really I heard the podcast from Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad. And they tell me how difficult it is to make 13 episodes in a year.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, it's a lot of thoughts, but bear with me. And then I'm thinking about shows and networks that have to make 23 episodes
Yeah.
and how, like, much, like, they don't have time to make anything. It's basically you're getting second or third drafts of these stories, and they have to go up right away.
Yep.
And so you don't have things that are really, like, nice and developed. And think about this for movies, too. You're
Right.
given, all these Marvel and DC movies, they're given a year to write something and to put it up. But all these good movies take 3 years, 4 years to write and to construct. And so it's just amazing to me, and it's more of just a case study to see how people handle that time crunch.
Yeah.
And you almost have to take that into account when you're watching those network shows.
Yeah.
Because they're not given the luxury or the time to really construct or make layers
Yeah.
into it. They're like, okay, we know these beats work. We know that we have to hit these marks, and we know that it'll inspire people for people who are into this stuff.
And
If
that's
you're
why when
into
you
crime
see it-
drama, you're going to like it. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Because we'll make you enjoy the ride. But for people who aren't in it,
Into
they're not
that.
going to.
Yeah.
You know,
Which I
because it
guess-
seems basic.
That kind
That's
of
why when you see a show that does all of it, and you hits all the points. You're like, how the fuck? Did
Damn.
you
Right,
do
well, that's
that?
like-
yeah, the
that-
ones
that's
like
like
the
a-
J.K. Rowlings that
Yeah,
just
yeah.
have that
You have like a
image.
perfect orchestration where everything is in sync. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you treat it. I like to treat it like music, where
Yeah.
everything flows together. There isn't like a wonky part that you can excuse. You know, like, oh well, I like movies about elves, or I like stuff about space. I can forgive that. But no, when everything comes together, it beautifully sings, and that's like
Yeah.
the winner.
It's hard.
I was gonna say that's what worries me a little bit about the next season of Westworld, which is I felt like they spent so much time weaving everything together in the
Oh, I
first
don't
season.
expect the next season to be good.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I'm going
But they
to
took a.
enjoy
I guess
it
they didn't
because
take a year. They just took a year break. That's it.
Yeah,
well,
that
they
was
took
last-
a little bit
well,
longer. They had to do. They took a bit. It was supposed to come back sooner, but they had a bunch of rewrite stuff that they
okay.
wanted. So they went back to try to go like, oh, we need to not.
Well, they did that on the first season too.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did. I didn't hear about the second season, but I know on the first season they had to stop production for like months and just rewrite the last like episode. I don't know what it was, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or something.
Yeah, I
they
think they
rewrote that
I assume that's
entire
because they were
thing.
like figuring out later seasons, and they were like, oh, this is a better thing than we.
yeah,
had.
but they
And
have
had
been
to, like-
teasing, I guess, even when the first season was happening, like things about later seasons. So hopefully that means that they have some sort of plan
Yeah.
for it all. But
Like
It's
I'm
hard,
expecting
man.
It, to
It
just
is.
be
hard,
like
yeah.
I'm still gonna be interested because it's still gonna be like robots and AI.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that whole concept.
just think
and
that-
what it
yeah,
means to
the
be
world is so
human. Like
cool.
that's
Right.
gonna be interesting on its own. It's gonna be gorgeous. The soundtrack's gonna be great. So even if the story's kind of like meh, I think all the other stuff, at least for me, will
yeah.
keep me interested enough to go like, okay, I'll keep watching.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Would you guys go to Westworld if you
Hell
had money?
Yes,
yeah,
I would definitely go.
yes.
Would you go?
How would you play
You would
it?
go.
Yeah, I would go.
I'm answering for you. You're
But-
going.
I was like,
You're
But I
gonna be
just-
the Logan, and he's like the Man in Black.
Yeah.
You're gonna ruin him.
But I
if you
just
drag him along.
wonder. I just wonder, like, if knowing what I know about like Jurassic Park and things like that, I know that there would be hesitant. As much as I like want to go really bad, like a part of me just, and I think it's because I'm thinking about it as a show and not as like a real
Thing.
Yeah,
thing.
like Disney's Westworld opens
right.
in Orlando.
And it's all AI that look like people and walk like people and talk like people, and I'm like, oh well, they're just robots.
Yeah.
Like that's what I would think.
Yeah.
But like, I think if looking at it as a show, I would be hesitant to go. Looking at it
Spencer.
as
2
a
years
track-
in.
Spencer, it's a Potter world.
Yeah, I know.
So
It's a
what if you
Potter-
had the
I know.
choice
No, I mean,
between?
like-
Holy
no,
sh-
no,
Like,
no,
it's
no,
not-
no. What I'm
think
saying,
about
what
Not
I'm saying is,
Westworld. It's
I
Potter.
know-
It's
I know what you're
Potter
saying.
World
So I'm
Atlanta.
coming in.
Are you going?
I know what you're saying.
Are you going?
That's what I mean by I know.
So yeah, wait. So let's say you had the
It's-
choice between any of the
Yeah.
Westworld variants. What would you choose?
Of the ones they have,
Not like, or just anyone imaginable.
It is.
I would try to. I
Still
would tend to
hard.
pick one that's maybe like more D&D based. 'Cause I think that would be super fun.
Something more medieval or something more fantasy?
Fantasy.
Okay.
Like
Oh
give
my
me some elves and dwarves
Ah.
and like because you're making the things, make the things. And because the Western, like I'd go if that's the only option, but
Yeah.
that's not the world that would necessarily appeal to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me
So you would want something that's more like a fantasy and
give
less
me more
historical?
Of like, give me a world. If I'm paying so much money,
Yeah.
let's go all out, you know. So a fantasy type world or a Potter world would be kind of interesting in the sense of like, but it would also still kind of feel too real. It could be too modern. So maybe like a King Arthur time period Potter world
With dragons.
Like, where
I
it's
just want to show up. I want to walk in and have the door closed behind me. If I'm gonna do it, I want to walk in, have the door closed behind me, and then I look back and it doesn't look like there's a door there. And then I look out and it's just like a whole alien world. That's what I want.
Interesting.
I just
Okay.
want to live in like.
I'd be tempted to do a
Another
space situation.
place.
Like okay, now you're.
I don't
like,
want to be in space on a ship.
Like,
I
that's
want to
the thing,
be
I'd
on
be-
a planet.
I'd be tempted
has
to
an
be on a
established,
space
like,
ship, but it would feel
village.
like it would be like Wall-E meets the Enterprise, and I don't know how much fun I would have on that because it's essentially being on a big cruise ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I think being on a planet where you could go out and explore like the alien
Like
jungle. or
Avatar.
you
But
could-
it could be part of
Yeah.
it. It's like it docks, and it's like now you have to explore this world. Like maybe like
Right.
the cruise ship part is like the first 3 days of the vacation
right.
to get you used to space.
Yeah,
and
maybe it
everything,
is like
and
a
then
cruise
you
where you dock
land,
on
and
multiple
then you're
planets.
on the alien planet. Because like you know how they have the train going in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like maybe like that train because they have like that little world with the spa and like the hotel like where it's like you decompress.
Mhm.
So maybe like the spaceship's the decompression
Oh, that's cool.
prepping area,
Yeah.
and then you land on your alien land.
I saw a car driving in front of me on the way to work 2 days ago, I think, and it was like a van. It was like one of those transport vans, like not the big ones, but the ones that are like, it doesn't really matter, but it's one of the small, it's like box car things. It's like a transport van. Anyway, it was all black, and across the top it said Matrix. And I had an idea for how I want to do, because I want to do a Matrix,
Matrix story.
RPG
Yeah.
for Essence. And so my thought was, what if we did the Matrix, but as it was a place you could go as like a theme park kind of thing, where like
So
you
you'd
get
wanna
plugged
go-
in.
You'd want to go to a Matrix Westworld?
I wouldn't want to, but I'm saying taking the idea of the Matrix and being like, basically plugging you into, like taking everything about the Matrix, and then
So I'd learn Kung Fu.
yeah, you could learn
See,
whatever.
That would work because with Westworld, like say I want to be like a superhero. You know, I can't really do superhero things in a
Yeah.
Westworld place because I
You're
can't
still you.
fly.
Yeah.
I can't run fast. I can't whatever. I don't have the skills to like. I'm gonna run out of breath in a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If someone chases
Yeah,
me,
that would be the one thing if you're in like
But
a
if you're in a
D&D world,
Matrix-
you're a human. Like
Yeah.
there's no like you're
Yep.
not going to be like I'm a this
but if you're in
thing.
a Matrix, I know how to do all these things, and then
Yeah.
I can just do it. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Kind of crossing in. What was that movie with? I'm totally blanking on it. The Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that they.
Total Recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit of Total Recall.
Yeah. Totally.
That movie
Totally
scared me as a
Yeah.
child.
Oh yeah, yeah.
With the
terrifying.
eyes?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
left
I haven't seen
Scars?
it.
yeah.
So I wanna explore it because I think that'd be fun to like. It's sort of a Westworld Matrix,
That's the way to
Ready
go.
Player One crossover.
Mm.
You know, where it's
Yeah.
like you're going into this world and you can be whatever you want in that world, but then there are problems, and then
Yeah.
we have to obviously we have to solve those problems.
There's stakes.
You should do an RPG where there's just not problems. Like it's just a really pleasant journey.
So the closest I've gotten, the closest I've
really
gotten
pleasant
is,
couple
I,
hours.
is I'm working on a Miyazaki one
Oh, that's
Yeah.
lovely.
where it's just like
Oh.
super low.
Spirited Away?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, no, all of the Miyazaki films as like one universe, and we could sort of go to like wherever we want to go and be whatever kind of characters we want to be. So I'm working on that too, which would be really fun.
Well, I mean, Princess Mononoke had stakes.
It had stakes. It was scary, but I mean, you could go
That's
there
my
if you
least
wanted.
favorite one.
But you could also just like live in. I mean, Spirited Away was still.
Spirited Away was pretty like an in-depth world.
It was pretty in depth.
You could take that as a challenge. Try to come up with an RPG with the lowest possible real world stakes and try to make it as intense as
I
you
can
can.
make-
Interesting as you
I know how to
can.
make that right now.
Like the
So
cookies
you
are
should
burning.
do it. You should run it.
I can make that right now. I would just make an anime. It's just like
Yeah.
everybody. You're now in high school. Everybody, you have a club that's like doesn't have enough members. It's a really like simple ass club. Like I don't know. Like the club is
Paper Club.
There's so many animes that deal with this. There's the club of we're all outcasts and we don't have friends club. There's the we just want to make a band
Right.
club and everyone just has to learn instruments. Like just pick a thing where it's just like we all want to learn this
Rock
like,
paper
very
scissors club.
Yeah.
basic skill. Yeah, it could be that, and we don't have enough members, and the whole season is just trying to get one more member and getting a teacher to approve the band, and then you just go through school and you're hanging out, and your problems are like, oh man, we have to do something for the festival. What are we gonna do? And then you just do it, and it's fine.
And then a murder happens.
No, nothing happens. Nothing bad happens. You just hang out and become friends, and you eat cake.
But there's a
best.
conspiracy in the school.
Nope. There's an episode where you explore a haunted house for some reason. There's an episode that deals with New Year. There's a beach episode because you always have to go to the beach because it's summer. There's an episode where there's Christmas, and Christmas is kind of like their Valentine's Day, so like that's the kind of thing there. And even then, nothing happens. Everyone just gets chocolate, and it's fine.
See, but that sounds so boring
Oh,
to
it's
me.
the best. It's so sweet and calming. Oh, it's so good.
Calming. That's what
and then
Star
the
wants.
festival?
A calming.
The festival and like what you're gonna do and how like your class
making
thinks
sense.
and maybe
interesting.
you have to deal with something with the class president like it's great it's great.
She's
I'm
using the
already
medium.
half asleep. Anyway, let me look up. We have more. We have
How
a ton of
amazing would it be,
questions, so let me go
as you look for questions?
Yeah.
How amazing would it be if Westworld was actually Potter World, and someone's like,
I would go
And it would
so
be-
fast.
you would have the Westworld, like it's basically the same thing, but with the skin of Harry Potter.
Well, yeah, because the wands would work.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go there, but you have this like dark and dreary Harry Potter thing and everything goes wrong. But you have to go through the sorting hat process. And
That-
you have
yeah.
to go through the houses, and
That
then
whole
things
world
start
lends
breaking, and then
itself so
things
well.
start
What's your
breaking
house?
down
Danny, what's your house?
Like from the quiz,
Yeah.
from Pottermore quiz.
I think Gryffindor.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh yeah. Guys, come on.
I expect everybody to be Ravenclaw here.
No.
When
Yeah.
everyone's not,
I
I'm just
know.
kind of like taking a
Well, this
back.
is it.
Gryffindors.
Gryffindor versus.
Fucking, you guys are us
Yeah.
though. You guys are just as nerdy as we are, and it's just like
well,
it throws me
doesn't
off
make
except
every
that we're
time.
better because we're Gryffindor.
And that's
we're
why
just
he's
like
Gryffindor.
you, only
Okay.
better.
Okay, so I'm gonna, and you already know about this. I just finished Harry Potter 3. I'm reading them for the first. I've
Reading?
never read them.
Have you seen the films?
No.
No.
Okay.
He's a sweet. He's a
So
sweet,
you've only
innocent-
read the
Sweet,
books,
innocent
but you've watched
child.
none of the
Innocent.
films.
And I've only
Are you
What
watching the films as you read the
no,
books?
I'm waiting till I read all of them.
Okay.
So
It's for the
I
best.
so
Yeah,
I
for
finished
the
book
best.
3. I'm probably gonna start book 4 soon. The Goblet
Of
Fire.
fire.
3 was
Uh-huh.
my favorite story. I haven't really read all the books in order, like
Yeah.
in the way that you're doing it. So, anyways, go ahead.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I because you're talking about how great Gryffindor is. I don't like how shitty they make Slytherin.
Yeah,
as.
no, that's a common complaint.
Yeah, right. It's
Okay,
really
good.
just like commonly accepted as like the villain. Like it does
The
make it
villain
It's,
well.
house.
it's
yeah.
a common complaint.
Okay, good. I just wanted to bring it up. I wanted
Yeah,
to hear
no,
another
like
perspective.
in real life, people like for the most part in real life, like Slytherin, like you hear it and you're like, I get it. Like it's not like, I mean, I don't treat Slytherins bad
Right.
in real life. I'm like,
Right.
I know a few.
But the
We know a
the
few.
people that are
Mom.
bad.
Maud?
She hates that.
She's now a Gryffindor. She took it. She retook it.
She
No, she
Uh,
didn't.
yes,
did
she
she
did.
really? She
Yep.
cheated.
No, here's the thing. She was.
know why?
She was a Gryffindor.
You
She
know why?
was Gryffindor. They changed the test. She retook the test. She ended up
Slytherin.
in Slytherin. She was very upset.
So she started another email.
and she
and then
retook the test.
You know
got
what?
Gryffindor.
You know who does that? A
Slytherins.
Slytherin does that.
Yeah. I think that like it's hard because one of those things where they are going to fall. The people that are generally really shitty are going to fall into that house, but not all the people in that house are necessarily shitty.
Right.
Correct.
You know what I
Maud
mean?
isn't a shitty person.
No.
No.
One of my favorite things to do is take like
She's great.
people in real life, like celebrities and stuff, and sort them just for shits and giggles. And some of them have automatic. So like one of like my favorite celebrities, Lin-Manuel Miranda, he's
a Slytherin.
gladly proclaimed Slytherin. And I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense. Like he's
I haven't really nailed down Hufflepuffs yet.
Hufflepuffs are stoners.
Yeah, but
They're
So-
stoners and they're real chill people. That's
Wait, can
it.
you break that one down for me? So like, what would make Lin-Manuel a Slytherin? Because I don't really
Well,
really know the distinction.
He's self-declared that he's a Slytherin, but I'm pretty sure working in Broadway and having
Yeah.
to get your shit to where
Done,
it's gonna
yeah.
be, you gotta
gotta-
play the game. You gotta hustle, and you know what you're doing.
Like he's killed a few people, is what you're
Not
saying.
killed a few people, just knows
Yeah,
how to
like
play.
he's
a,
ambitious.
he probably
he's
knows how to
ambitious, right?
play up charm, and he's
Yeah, yeah.
ambitious as fuck, which is the main Slytherin trait.
Yeah.
Is ambition and like taking
Cunning.
care of your own and
Yeah.
cunning. So like
Interesting.
it makes sense. And all his favorite Hamilton's is definitely like a Slytherin.
Yeah, I could see that.
Burr's a Slytherin. Like all that. Like he like.
Burr for sure, real life Burr. 100%.
Yeah, like it's just he proudly proclaims it. I'm like, yeah, rep with Slytherins in like a positive way because almost every president is a Slytherin that we've had for sure. Obama's a Slytherin, you guys. Like that's,
Right, we've had
Oh,
this
yeah.
conversation.
oh yeah, with a touch of Ravenclaw in there. But like, yeah,
Um,
and dude, it's just what it is. Like if you play politics,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
meh.
Before we go, I wanted to see.
Before we go,
yeah, we're
go,
getting
what?
close.
Oh
my God.
It's
We
50,
just-
we're 50 minutes.
We just started.
Oh yeah, we should do this really quick. We should have him read this.
yeah, read this.
Okay, so just pick a page.
Okay.
This is the Scottish version of Harry Potter.
Goodness, okay.
we've talked about Harry Potter so much, it has to be brought up in every
Yes.
podcast now.
Yes.
Oh my
That's
god.
fine.
This is,
It'll
so this is like
never-
a parody thing.
No,
No,
that
it's
is
real.
the legit
That's very real.
Scottish translation
Really?
of Harry Potter.
Like they genuinely use like Lassie as like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
funny.
Like, just pick a paragraph that you want to read and,
And read
it.
it to the best without trying too hard. Just read what it sounds like.
Okay. I'm going back and forth on whether or not to try the accent.
No, just read it
It's gonna
straight
be
through.
bad.
Just
Okay.
read it straight through. The accent will happen.
Yeah, that's how that happens.
A pink-faced lassie, wi' blonde pigtails, stumbled out o' line, pit on the bonnet, which fell reeked o'er her een, and sat doon after a moment. Heckla peck, shouted the bunnet.
Heflapeck.
So good. It's so good. Anyway, they're amazing.
That's
pages.
really
That's
funny.
crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy. It's just, and for people who don't know, it's the Scottish edition. of Harry Potter, Scottish translation of Harry Potter, and it's a real thing, and it actually exists. And I bought it from the Amazon UK.
Oh my God, is that Dumbledore's name?
Yes. Dimble.
Dumby Dykes.
Dumby Dykes.
Dumby Dykes.
And all the houses have the Scottish names too.
Yeah.
Is that what
Uh-huh.
Hecklepeck is? Is that like Hufflepuff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hecklepeck
Okay.
is.
Hecklepeck.
Okay.
great.
Before we go, the Oscar nominations are out.
Ooh.
And so I thought we should go through and just like talk about what if we've seen them and what we think of which one should win.
This-
Oh,
This is the
I'm so
conversation where
bad.
you guys get to have without me because I don't watch most of those movies.
Yeah.
I'm so
I
bad
watched
this
Get Out,
year.
so I hope that one wins. That's about it.
won't, which is we were talking about this the other day. How like I feel like Get Out, every category that Get Out is nominated in this year,
Yeah.
there's an Oscar favorite,
Yeah,
which is a bummer because
it was really good.
good movies should all be recognized.
Yeah, Efrain asked us name your picks for the following categories at Oscars.
I wish
Best
I've-
Actor, Actress, Best Director, Screenplay, and May Feature.
Cracked
Song,
used
Score,
to
and
have
Best
like a
Picture.
good concept that were like they would throw out there. Like they wish the Oscars wouldn't happen the same year that the movies. Like there should be like a 5-year delay.
Yeah,
Oh my
and-
God!
Well,
5 years?
It's interesting.
Well, because
because you
a lot of times the ones that have made it and like have like been nominated
Lasted?
and go through, they fade into obscurity. They like in retrospect they aren't that great.
But I guess that's in a sense kind of redefining what makes it the best movie.
right.
Like you're
Yeah.
taking in an additional factor of like.
But it's like to kind of make like a lot of the movies tend
Like
to
the
be
Hurt
But I
Locker.
agree though. When
Yeah.
you look back at a lot
Like
of
the
the
Hurt
winners,
Locker
you're
is
like,
the
what?
When
Academy
you look
Award
back,
winner.
you're like, who was watching this? What's going on? So like giving it like a good 5-year like settling period.
Yeah, because I feel like when you go back and look at the movies from like, and this is probably just because there were less of them, but like when you go look at the winners from like previous decades, you're like, yeah, that was the best movie that came out
because there
that
wasn't
year.
that many.
Yeah, and if it doesn't win, you're all, there's like 2 other ones where you're like, oh, those are also. But I feel like, yeah, you're right. When you look back over the last decade, you're like, oh, I forgot that movie even existed, let alone
Yeah.
one Best Picture.
yeah, it's real weird.
So, what did you say? 5 years ago? What is that? 2012?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's look at that actually.
Guess
Let's
who
do
won?
that.
Do you remember?
All right, wait,
No,
let me
I
think about
have-
this.
I don't remember at all.
2012,
The Dark Knight Rises.
that was the same year, but
That's gonna be my answer all the time. I don't know.
Oh,
Did you see it?
yep.
Argo.
You see?
oh.
Like for what? Why did that win? I mean, it was fine. It was a fine movie. I liked it.
Holy
but,
shit! There were so many movies
But how about-
nominated.
Wait, you talking about 2012
Yeah.
But what else?
for Best Picture?
What else came out?
Yeah.
And what else was in that category for 2012?
Do you have a different answer?
When did the
Yeah.
artist win?
The Artist. What are you looking at?
That's 2011.
20. Oh, it was the Oscars in 2012 for 2011. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
That's
You
a
know what I'm
bunch
talking
of bullshit.
No. I think you're right. It's just the ceremony is on.
It's in February or March, early
Yeah.
March or late February.
So let me look at the 85th. Yeah, the 85th is gonna be
This,
Argo.
this is
Oh,
the one
okay.
that happened in
But what
2012.
else was nominated?
The
in
one that
that?
happened.
Okay,
in
you want to know what
2013.
else was
What
nominated?
else was nominated?
Okay, hold on, because
Wait,
there's
wait,
a
wait.
long ass
we
list.
should pick our Best Picture
Yes,
winner from
that's
this
what we
list.
should do.
Argo, Life of Pi, Les Miserables, Lincoln, Django Unchained. This can't be right. Skyfall, Silver. This cannot be right. This is too many movies.
No,
right?
because they changed it to
nominate a lot.
10
They changed it to
for
10.
Best Picture.
This is more than 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Well, I
9.
think these are all the winners of their category.
2012.
Because Paperman won for animated short form.
Yeah. Okay.
animated.
So Best Picture: Argo, Amour, Beasts of the Southern Wild, Django Unchained, Les Mis, Life of Pi, Lincoln, Silver Linings Playbook, and Zero Dark 30.
Wait,
There's
what is
at
Amour?
least 3 other movies in that
Amour.
category. Like 3 movies in that that I feel would have been better than
Yeah.
Argo. Like what's it call it? The movie with the little girl in the thing. The
Sorry, what?
little girl in the bayou. You said.
Oh, that's Amour with the lady.
Say the list again.
Beasts of the Southern Wild.
That one. Like that one. To
I never
me
saw
was
that one.
Like I saw, it was gorgeous. It was moody and
Yeah, really good.
and rich and like compared to like Argo, like yeah, Argo was like funny and it was.
I
like,
was very
quick,
underwhelmed.
Yeah.
But like of the 2, I would give it to Beasts of the Southern Wild. Like it was just like I feel like if you have time to reflect and look back and go, oh okay, like and also it would kind of like push out a lot of the movies that are like we're making this to get an Oscar
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you're just
A lot
like
of 'em.
oh like. You put in all these actors, you have a couple good scenes, and you're clearly like, I'm trying to do this for the award instead of like trying to actually
Yeah.
make a brilliant movie.
I read
and
someone
then
say
they would
once
cut that out.
That if you replace best with most in every category, you can more often than not kind of determine why they're there. Like most acting, you know, or like most visual effects.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
kinda like,
Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln.
right,
Most acting.
because he did the most acting,
Right.
which makes sense.
That's how it is with costume
Most
design too.
adapted
Totally.
screenplay.
So like doesn't work with all. It's not a perfect science.
No, it's like it is the screenplay that is the most adapted. I guess it kind of works.
How much actually do they factor that in?
Yeah, how
when
much?
they
I
judge
don't
it?
think they do.
I
I
don't
think
think
they
they
just
do.
factor in like how well
Yeah.
it's taken.
I would pick
How well it's.
Because
Silver
you know
Linings
what?
Playbook,
You
by
know
the way,
why
go
you
back.
wouldn't want to do
Yeah,
that?
I
like
like that movie.
Because
I
you
love
wouldn't
them.
want
Yeah.
like something that's adapted because it's a new format. And
Yeah,
I
you
wouldn't
have
want
to
it
change
to be an
it.
exact
You have
copy
to
of
change
the
it.
thing.
What do you guys think is the greatest, not just from a book, but from like any other medium into a movie? What do you think is the greatest adaptation?
Into a movie?
Yeah, so like a musical to a movie, musical, like a stage to movie, or book to movie, or graphic novel to movie,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
people
show to
talk-
movie.
I know people talk about, but I haven't read the book, so I can't compare it. And I've heard two movies. I heard Jurassic Park is a better movie than it was a book, and I've heard the same thing about Fight Club. But I have not read Jurassic Park.
So
or
I read Fight Club and it was real good, but
Have
I
you
thought
seen
Is the
Fight
movie
Club?
better?
But I've seen Fight Club. But I saw the movie first, and I think they are two different beasts. But I think that the book is designed to read like a movie, and so I think that it was probably better suited as a movie. But
That's what I
they're
heard.
both good.
I heard Chuck say that.
Really, the writer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense to me though, because he didn't have the money to make a movie, so he wrote a book.
Yeah.
It's not surprising.
I don't know. That's a hard question.
Yeah, I have to like go into my brain a little bit more about
Let's see what adapted from. I mean, all of the Marvel stuff.
the original
It's
Sailor
true.
Moon anime was better than the original Sailor Moon manga. If that's a controversial thing to say.
One person's like, no, no.
Manga purist. Remember that? It's just like you're like, man, she wrote that like she was under so much pressure. She was like 18, and like it's fine, but you don't get to know everybody. The anime made them way more interesting.
Let's see best adaptation.
But that's me.
Let's
That's
see
me
what
being.
let's see what the internet says.
I only just recently watched the Chicago movie from the
I
musical.
like the Chicago movie.
I was blown away.
They did such a
Yeah,
good
it's good.
job.
I thought that was a perfect everything that was good about the musical, like everything that makes
Yeah.
musicals wonderful,
That's
came
a
there.
great one.
But it
Yeah.
also everything that movies can do that you can't do on a stage blended so well in that movie that it just really elevated the
Didn't
whole
it
thing.
win best?
It did
movie?
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Great.
great.
As it should have. Oh my god, the direction of that movie is
Yeah, it's
unbelievable
so
too.
good.
But the way they're like that scene where she's like doing, he's doing the ventriloquist doll or
yeah,
whatever they
yeah.
call that, and it's like the way they're able to cut back and forth between their
Right.
I
Right.
want to see that movie
staged
again.
Yeah,
version
it
does.
versus the
We should
actual
watch
press
that.
conference
I would
Better
watch
is so much
that.
cooler to me than the stage where you get one scene.
I was really
wanna see
sad that.
that.
What was that one? It was based on 8.5. The movie 8.5. Is it called 9? I think it's called 9.
Wow.
The one with the little puppets.
No, it was the
You know
it's
what I'm talking
the
about?
it's
Yeah,
the
the
Rob
one with
Marshall.
the sewing doll.
The sewing dolls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Oh
creepy.
yeah, yeah.
Caroline?
No,
No,
9.
9.
But 9 is also a musical, directed and
Coraline.
produced
I've
by
heard
Rob
I've
Marshall.
heard
You're thinking Coraline.
I'm thinking Coraline.
Yeah.
And it's
Great
based
movie.
on adaptation of 1982 musical of the same name, which is in turn based on Federico Fellini's semi-autobiographical autobiographical 1963 film 8.5.
Huh.
Have you seen 8.5?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's really good. I mean, Fellini is like a master, and it's a strange movie, but it's probably one of my favorite movies we watched in film school. It was so good. I can't. There's just a scene where if you haven't seen it before, just go and Google it because it's real good, and you can watch like the opening scene in
Nice.
on YouTube, and it's just brilliant. I mean, the whole thing's brilliant. It's crazy. So anyway, but I was really disappointed with 9 because I was excited they were bringing that story back because it's so relevant now. It's basically about like this filmmaker, Italian filmmaker, who is like struggling to get his new movie off the ground, and he's overwhelmed because like he's having this affair with this woman, and like he's overwhelmed by the combination of his work and his personal life, and it feels like such a he's such a shitty person, and it's so interesting to watch him basically break down as he's trying to make this movie, but he has to hold everything together because he's trying to direct. So it's like he has all of these things that are happening, and then they're like, and action, and he has to be on.
Wow.
And you're like, fuck! It's so good. It's really good. It's very surrealist too in
Yeah.
some pieces. Let me see.
Isn't that like kind of like Birdman?
Yeah, I mean not exactly,
Not
but
exactly,
yeah.
but like that's the vibe. Like if I was gonna make that into a movie, I'd want it to feel like Birdman.
Do you want to describe what you're seeing right now?
I can pick up on the surrealist vibe a little bit here.
Yeah.
It's it looks like a football field from where I'm sitting, but it's a field.
It's a field of some kind. Yeah.
And there's just a line of people, like in kind of Abbey Road style, like 5 people walking from left to right.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Um,
We can't see this.
We-
either.
I can't
it's
see it either.
It's an
Lewis and I
eclectic
cannot
mix.
see this.
That's an eclectic mix.
So he's staring at Gonzalez.
Okay, so on the left there's a small human, possibly a child,
Oh, we
in
don't
an-
know.
in an all white garb with a hat, and there's an adult behind them or a taller person who's helping them walk somehow. Then in front of them is a really tall dude with a tuba. In front of him is a medium-sized man with some other brass instrument
And a trench coat.
and a trench coat. In front of him is a bald man in a striped shirt with a
Uh-huh.
clarinet and a very tiny top hat. And then in front of him is
And they're walking down the street like
No,
the
they're walking
Beatles.
through this
I like
field.
the idea of
Oh, they're the field. That's
this
right,
would
you're
be
right.
this would be a fun game of if like I mean everyone would have to be an illustrator where someone describes a picture
Yeah.
and everyone else has
Draws
to
it.
draw it and to see what you think that
we should just
is.
play with you because you're the best
But
artist.
I would want other people to do it too. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
not
we
just
should
my
all do it, even
interpretation.
though we're not good artists,
Yeah,
and
that
it'd
might
be
be
really
better.
funny. Yeah, but it's also not a visual medium. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
I guess we have YouTube, but that would need to
That's
be
a good
something we
par-
do on Twitch.
I feel like it's a good party game.
That'd be a good
Mhm.
Twitch.
That is a good party
Twitch
game.
Yeah, it's a very surreal. Oh yeah, this is you describe what you're seeing here. Can you tell what that is? I can describe it if you can't tell.
It's a foot.
Okay.
No, it looks like a kind of a POV shot of someone that is like flying into space. Like he's looking over the beach, and you can just see his foot looking straight down, like he's looking down at below him. He's like maybe 100 feet off the ground.
And he has a
Oh,
he has,
yeah, go ahead.
he has a rope tied around his leg, and then it's going all the way down to the beach. That's like maybe 100
So
feet.
it's like a kite.
Yeah, like he's a kite,
Like he is a kite.
but you can only see his
Interesting.
1 foot.
8.5.
8.5.
8.5. Go and watch it.
That's
Real fucking weird
really
and
And I like how
awesome.
the name of this photo too is Catholicism and Alienation. You're like,
Catholicism and alienation and Fellini's
yeah, I'm
8.5.
really picking up on some Catholicism vibes from this photo. That's my first thought. Was
Yeah.
like, oh, is
Yeah.
this a Catholic?
It's a
Yeah.
metaphor for the Catholic
Yeah.
Church. Yeah.
Interesting.
I was just at church the other day, and I was just like, this reminds me of that time
I was
that I was flying over the beach.
Amazing. Okay. Well, it's an hour 3, so we're done. And we actually spent more than that for the YouTube
That's true.
kids because we had to shut down.
Bonus.
So we should probably say goodbye.
Subscribe.
I know.
Well,
Goodbye. Yeah.
We'll be back next time.
Next week.
Next week.
I know. Okay. Well, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube, go subscribe there, and you can. Danny, you want to tell them where they can follow you if they want to follow you?
I have been thinking about this question all morning
Oh,
on my
no.
whole drive here.
Really?
Because I was
Really?
like, they're going to ask me to plug some sort of social media platform, and I don't really have any. Like, everything's kind of, maybe my Twitter?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just my
Do you
name,
have a
Danny
pro-
Connor, one word, but I'm
Do you
very
have a
inactive.
portfolio?
Wait, Danny Connor is your Twitter?
Yeah, one word.
That's great. How did you snag that?
Okay, I did a great thing when I was
It's
younger.
Not even his real name.
It kind of is.
It kind of is, but Danny's
It's my
not.
middle name.
Yeah, I know, and I bothered me.
So I'll,
Do you
okay,
not know Danny's first name isn't Danny?
I tried to make my middle name a thing, but it didn't work out.
What's your middle name?
Cipriano.
Oh,
That's why it didn't work
dope.
out.
I know.
I was like, that's
Because
dope.
I found out
That's
this
a
kid,
layup.
he was like, not that kid. There's no one there. But
That kid, and he turns around, he's like,
he's like, I called him Alex for years.
like,
He's
how
like-
long has that kid been here?
I called him Alex for years. It was one of my good friends in like 3rd grade for years. And I found out Alex's middle name. And I was like, I felt betrayed. And I was like, well, I want to be like you, and I want my middle name to be
Cipriano.
my first name. Anyway,
Are you Italian?
Cipriano?
it's my mother's maiden name, and they made it my middle name, I guess.
Cipriano. That's dope.
So, but Danny Connor.
Sup, Cipriano?
I know, Sippy.
You just be Seep.
Yeah. ugh.
See?
ooh,
I don't
that's a
like
real
that.
bad name.
Yeah.
Louis C.
Sup, Seep.
So you, when you were young, you just snagged Twitter, like the name, real quick.
Yeah, like because I've just always been very techie, so I was kind
Yeah.
of always early to a lot of websites. So I just tried to very quickly grab Danny Connor on everything that I could, except Gmail. So while I have this public forum,
Yeah, please.
if you own Danny Connor at gmail.com, I will pay you so much money. I've emailed them. like I can't get it, and I have my website with my name. I have every social media platform with my name. I have a Tumblr. I don't even use Tumblr, but I got it because I was like, I might want it someday. But it's just the Gmail. I didn't get to the Gmail in time.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
The only one I was able to, the 2 platforms that I was able to get my name without having to add the X on are Tumblr, because it's a very early adopter of Tumblr, and Instagram, so I'm immediately on Instagram. But everything else, I have to do the X. And even with Gmail too, it's like Starline X.
Well,
but I do use my full name, to your point, for my Instagram.
Yeah, you do.
I've
seen it.
It is Charles Daniel Connor.
It's not a secret anymore.
has anyone ever called you Chucky?
I think that's where we end. All right,
Only-
thanks so much for listening. I'll see you guys next week.